We have Mr. Sunil Gavaskar joining us live from Galle now to talk about day 3 of the first test between India and Sri Lanka. Mr. Gavaskar, thanks so much for joining us, sir. Good to have you here back on the show. India 189 for 3 at stumps, leading by 498 runs. They're, of course, well and truly on top. What has been the most impressive parts of India's performance so far?
Well, I think the way firstly they batted in the first innings, it was a very good pitch to bat on, and Shikhar Dhawan capitalizing on it, getting to 190. Then Cheteshwar Pujara continuing his rich vein of form, and generally I think the way they went up to India's 50 on debut, and then today, after India had dismissed the Sri Lankans for the score that they did, then to get that huge lead, and capitalizing on the lead with the form of Virat Kohli being important, because in the last 6 innings he hadn't scored too many runs, and therefore it was important for him to get a half century, so that's a big outcome of him.
Right, let's talk about India's decision to not enforce the follow-on now, sir. Now, there were 4 instances before this when Virat as captain did not enforce the follow-on, and India in fact won. They were against South Africa, New Zealand, England and Bangladesh. What are the things, sir, that a captain and a team really look at while deciding whether to enforce the follow-on or not?
Well, I think the first thing that to think about is whether your bowlers are tired. How many overs have the bowlers bowled, particularly your new ball bowlers? If they bowled a lot, whether it's soft or pressing, then you certainly want to give them a break. You want to give them a bit of a breather. In this instance, because Sri Lanka had batted a little bit on day 2 and then a little bit again on day 3, there was almost a consideration that they had an overnight rest. But I think to a great extent, the decision to bat again would have been influenced by the fact that today the pitch was playing a lot better than it did yesterday. And therefore, I think Virat would have thought that looks fine. We might maybe be able to get them out to 311. But if they score a few more runs, if they maybe get to 400, we don't want to bat on the 4th-day pitch or 5th-day pitch. So why not up that again and put the game away from Sri Lanka completely? So I think that's the thinking behind it. They still have 2 whole days if the rains don't intervene to get Sri Lanka out.
Right, let's talk about Shikhar Dhawan now, Mr. Gavaskar. He, of course, is playing his first test match since October 2016. A fantastic knock in the first innings. He's, of course, made a very strong case for himself to become a regular opener in the team once again. But what realistically will happen once Murali Vijay and KL Rahul will both be back?
That's an interesting question. We have already seen that a player who has scored a triple 100, he was stopped for the next test as soon as the person whose place he had taken because of injury returned. So I think that's more likely to happen. But because Shikhar Dhawan is a left-hander, he might get another chance, because every team likes a left-hand, right-hand combination at the crease. But more importantly, of course, is how Shikhar Dhawan bats in the second and the third test. If he continues this form, then it will be very, very difficult to leave him out, because Murali Vijay is definitely out of the series. KL Rahul will be around, and Rahul and Vijay are probably the future. But if Shikhar Dhawan keeps scoring runs in the next 2 test matches, it will be very difficult to leave him out.
Right, from Shikhar, let's move to Virat now, Mr. Gavaskar. Virat, the batsman, has always been a very quick learner. He fell for 3 to a short pitch delivery in the first innings. Now he's looking very good in the second innings. What has he done differently, according to you, technically, when it comes to his batting vis-a-vis the first and the second innings?
Well, nothing different technically. It's just that he's not attempted to counter-attack the bouncer. He's straight under it, he's got under the ball or he's straight out of the way and allowed it to pass. And I think that's the only thing that he's done. Otherwise, everything's just as he used to bat earlier on. That's the only area that he has to really look out for, because the ball won't deviate so much off the pitch for him to be worried around the off stump. It's the short ball. And because of the kind of pitches that are there in the subcontinent, some deliveries come quickly, some deliveries will not come quickly. That becomes a bit of a risky shot to try and play. So that's the only thing that he's got to think about. Otherwise, nothing's wrong with his batting at all.
Right, one final question, sir, and again it's about an individual player. Abhinav Mukund this time, his first test half century in 14 innings, heartbreakingly missing out on what would have been a maiden test century. How would you rate his batting in the second innings?
batted well. And again, he showed, like Virat, that he had learned from his mistake in the first innings. So left deliveries around the off stump that got him out in the first innings. And then, as he settled in, he played some very, very crisp-looking shots. With very good movement of the feet towards the pitch of the ball when playing the spinners. And generally, even when the quicker bowlers try to bounce in, he takes a pull shot quite well. So he showed very, very good temperament. And the fact that he's such a good fielder in the closing is also a big plus. So he has done his future chances no harm at all by the innings that he's played. It's a pity that he got out in the final over of the innings, so because if he had perhaps been another 5-6 runs away, I think India would have batted on day 4 and given him the chance to get to a maiden test run.